All right, welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm David.
And I'm Gary.
And today we're going to talk about the fallout and the updates with the Epstein case, the Epstein Files, the Department of Justice, and the impacts of the testimony of the women that spoke on Capitol Hill today with regards to what they knew about the Epstein Files.
So we're recording this on Wednesday night, September 3rd. It's a little after 8 o'clock Pacific time. Today, a number of the victims that were sexually assaulted by Epstein and his friends had a press conference on Capitol Hill, sort of documenting and telling their story. There were several Republicans in attendance. Nancy Mace actually had to leave the press conference early because she was having a panic attack, kind of a PTSD. She has suffered sexual assault or sexual abuse in her past, and this was hitting very close to home.
Now, just to interrupt you for a second, it says Nancy Mace spotted walking out of meeting with Epstein victims. I don't think it was during the press conference.
I stand corrected. I know she was meeting with them. I assumed it was at the press conference, but I stand corrected. There's a couple of interesting things happened. So in the House, there's a Republican from Kentucky, Thomas Massey, and a Democrat from California, Ro Khanna, who filed a discharge petition on Tuesday to force a floor vote on requiring the release of all files relating to Epstein. They need 218 signatures. Right now, Dave and I were kind of calculating it. They've got 216. They've got 4 Republicans that have either signed it or will sign it, including Thomas Massey, Nancy Mace, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Lauren Boebert are the 4 Republicans that would be willing to support this discharge petition.
Now, there were a total of 12 Republicans on this bipartisan bill. So there are more that the White House is currently trying to scare away from signing this. Matter of fact, Trump put out a notice today basically saying if you vote to release the Epstein files, you're betraying my administration and there'll be consequences. I can look it up to find out what he actually said, but that was the message that was being conveyed.
Well, I think the paraphrasing is enough. Obviously, Trump and Mike Johnson are fighting this tooth and nail. They do not want to release everything.
Oh, there was a great quote from Mike Johnson basically saying that, but the Republicans want this released. They're all for transparency. They want the Epstein files released. And if that's the case, well, then bring it to a floor to vote. Yeah. Why are you making Massey go through this end around when you could just bring it to the floor for a vote? Yep. Nothing says I'm a lying sack of quite like trying to talk out of both sides of your mouth and excrement's definitely coming out of one side of it.
Yeah, and Trump, in a marvelous tone-deaf moment, was downplaying the press conference, and the quote is more or less, they're discussing things that are totally irrelevant to the administration's successes.
Yes. First off, he called it a Democratic hoax.
Yeah.
And then he said basically it doesn't matter because the economy is doing really well.
It's just like, oh my freaking God. This is one of those things where I don't think it matters if you're a Democrat or Republican. You can look at this and say, child molesters, bad. Putting them in, bringing them to justice, good.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which color tie you wear, red or blue. It should be one of those universally accepted things that we do not like or support child molesters. Yes. Period. And the prison system sure doesn't care for them. No, you cannot put them in the general population. That's like free candy at Halloween.
They won't have a very good experience in the prison system. But it's such a tone deaf bullshit thing. And plus, he called it the Democratic hoax that never ends. I'm sorry, but didn't you campaign on this?
Yep.
You were all for it 8 months ago.
And didn't Ms. Maxwell say your name's totally not on the list, and you're such a perfect gentleman at all times? What would you care if that list gets? I don't care if that list gets released, because you know what? I know my name's not on it.
Yep.
You know when I wouldn't want that list released? When I know my name is on it.
Yep. And even if Trump isn't on the list, the speculation is he's covering up for people that are friends of his, probably donors to the Republican Party, donors to his campaign, and potentially people that are currently in office.
He doesn't care. He only cares about himself.
Yeah.
Getting to the head of a narcissist. He only cares about himself and maybe his legacy. So the other thought could be is that, well, first off, he's friends with Epstein. They had 1,000 FBI officers go through this thing, flagged probably 10,000 entries, to the point where Pam Bondi told Trump in May, your name's in here all over the place.
Excuse me.
At the very best, Trump knew what Epstein was doing and didn't do anything about it.
Yes.
That's like his best case scenario. And if you listen to Katie Johnson, that wasn't the best case scenario. Best case scenario ain't even close.
No. So, bring it on, I say.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at this for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so let's just take a look at the energy around this discharge petition that Massey and Ro Khanna are currently trying to get approved and force a vote of the entire House. Foundation is the 8 of Wands. They're taking their actions. They're getting the message out there. Also, on a parallel reading, Mike Johnson and Trump are out there taking actions and trying to get their message out there. The cross is the Fool. This is a situation that is kind of different than we've seen before. First of all, we've got bipartisan action where both sides are like, yeah, this is something we want. But you've also got Trump's basically trying to walk this thing off a cliff. He's hoping this thing will fall off a cliff and it'll never see the light of day. Unfortunately, the card underneath is the Sun card, which means it needs to see the light of day. We got to protect the children, the victims in this case. In the past, you had the Queen of Cups trying to keep a lid on things. Don't let it out. Keep a lid on it, and
send Congress home 6 weeks early so they don't have to vote on it.
Yes, exactly. Current energy is the Magician. This is more than likely Massey and Khanna trying to rally this bipartisan group to get this information out there. Let's show it.
Certainly made it visible for everybody.
Yep. Overarching energy is the King of Wands. We need to take firm, decisive actions on this. The lesson to be learned is a Chariot. This is not going to go away. This is going to continue to move forward.
It's just how out of control is it going to move forward?
Yeah, it's kind of like that tank. It's going to move forward, and it's going to crush whoever is standing in its way.
Yep.
Outcome is the King of Pentacles. So the Pentacles is about things of value. This is like, if you value your democracy, if you value the rights of children, then you need to support this. Of course, the King of Pentacles could also be the wealthy people that are trying to stand in the way of this.
Yep.
So it's just let's just get a clarifier. Who's the King of Pentacles? What is that supporting? Supporting the people that are out in the cold, that are being ignored. And it's that balancing act that's happening to try and, Trump is trying to play both sides of this, and the people who are sad. To me, it's the King of Pentacles. It's defending the victims. You told us you had the list, produce it, and we're not going to be happy until it comes out.
Well, awesome. how will this impact Republican voters in the House? Now that they've seen this, again, you've got Mace, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and Thomas Massie on board. For the other 6 to 8 people that were co-sponsors, as well as other Republicans, how does this presser impact their desires on their vote when countered against Trump's threats? Temperance, kind of, it's kind of taking a break from all the pressure to really, I think it's basically see which way the wind is blowing here. Discussing things in the background. 7 of Swords, getting away with, what can you get away with? King of Pentacles, what do your donors have to say? And then the Page of Swords, which is the young women that have testified, plus some of these folks, they have daughters and granddaughters. And what are your families going to say about that? The other thing with the King of Pentacles, Gary, and this could be another interpretation of this card, not only the donors, but Trump's health.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Trump's health went dark for 4 or 5 days, which means that he may not be long for this world. So is this the type of thing, do you want to, hitch your wagon up to Trump, who basically disappeared probably for a medical event for multiple days and is in lousy health and might only be around for a couple of months with the threat maybe they'll primary you, versus saying, yeah, I voted to release these files, at least the ones whose names aren't on it.
Yeah,
I think that it's like the Temperance card here is which is the lesser of the two evils. That's to me, that's what it is. And I think there's going to be a lot of talking behind the scenes. And then, what can I do? If you vote no, I don't want to release it. What can you do to cover yourself?
Yeah, well, that was the thing, was they were saying that Johnson and Trump are offering political cover for those that.
Yeah, there's the one of the things that Johnson did, or through Comer's committee, was the Justice Department released like 3,000 pages of documents, or some number like that. It was only like 3% of the Epstein documents. It was all heavily redacted, and that's all they want to release.
Right.
And then they want to have some non-binding committee meeting or something along those lines. They're basically, the lawyer described it as, they're trying to offer us a fig leaf. He said, this is a placebo. It's not going to work. It's not meant to work. It's just a distraction so that they can say harumph, harumph. Mm-hmm. We did something, and it just didn't work out. So there's going to be some political gamemanship coming here. But I think, again, there could be some Republicans who will vote for that, but not vote to release it outright, and try and use the cover of, well, we were just following what the leadership said. They said we should do this, and that should have been good enough. But oh darn, the Justice Department didn't release the information anyway. Oh shucks.
So let's. I just want to sort of do. Will the Massie and Khanna's petition be successful? I guess the follow-up would be does the Justice Department follow through if it is successful? Oops. Okay, upside down. Will their efforts be successful? King of Wands, they're taking that bold action that I said we needed to take to clear up the mystery and clear up the confusion. Because right now, there's obstacles being thrown in our way. We've the clarifiers, we spent time thinking about this. The time for thinking is over. It's time for action. You spent enough time thinking about this. So these are both passive cards. Knight of Pentacles is about observing, and what are the things of value here. So this could be, they've got the 4 Republicans already that have thought about this. They need the 2 more, so they've got to make some sort of offer to at least to get 2 more Republicans on board. Offer them something. We got things of value here. We got to give back, and it's for justice. And boy, I just don't know. It's like I'm going to say right now, it's sort of undetermined. It's not a done deal yet. Any thoughts on that?
I have lots of thoughts.
Any thoughts on the cards that I just dropped, or my interpretation of said cards?
I read your cards way too much and talk over you. I'll just let your interpretation stand.
Well, I am now reaching out. What do you think? Based on what you saw.
When I thrown on it, I got the death card yesterday, but it had like the star card and a couple other great cards underneath it. I wasn't sure if that meant that it may not get through the first time, but it's definitely coming through. When I threw on it tonight, I got the star card as my foundational card. So this thing's coming through.
I think
the Republicans will vote for it.
The feeling I get from the cards I've got is more like the reading you had yesterday, which is it may come, but it's not going to be like a first pass thing. It's going to take a little while. And
that's why I was wondering what your 4 swords meant. It could be like, we need to just think about this a little bit more.
Yeah. Who's going to give me the better offer? Is Trump dead yet?
Telling you. Trump getting sick when he did helped matters a lot, because it quieted things down just before the victims came out, and then he had to have his presser yesterday to try and stir up the mud, as it were. But everybody was ready for the presser today.
I know it is. Did we really need a press announcement that Space Force is moving from Colorado to Alabama?
Nope.
I mean, first of all, it's just a typical bull poop maneuver that Trump would do.
This follows under the thing. We didn't need a meeting. An email would have sufficed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we've been saying that Trump needs to go talk with the pool reporters for a little bit to show that he's alive. And that's what yesterday was. Mm-hmm. It was him showing that he was alive.
Yep. Anything you want to do more with this one?
No, I'm tapped out, I think.
Okay, fair enough. So just want to thank you all for watching. Dave and I truly appreciate it. Dave's back apparently is feeling better. He's able to sit down.
Yeah. If I sit down too much, my back starts to tighten up, and it was getting really bad over the last couple of days. So I took a day off work and pretty much laid in bed with a neutral back all day long, with very few exceptions.
So I'm going to give a couple of shout outs. To Luana Bailey, who made yet another kind contribution to our channel. Hi, Luana.
Keeping the clean cups.
Right. Keep a lid on it, Gary. I won't tell you how much it is because I already spent it on beer. And then I want to give a shout out to Amy Sanders, who's recovering after she was in the ICU. So I hope you're feeling better, Amy Sanders, and you make a full.
You'll be out soon enough. 8 days.
Yes, exactly.
8 hours.
And that's what let's see. Let's just give a shout out to whoever's in the comments section right now for my current video. Will Trump deploy the troops to Chicago or Baltimore? And surprisingly, that reading is just not doing a whole lot.
People aren't interested.
Apparently,
when they're there, they'll be interested.
Yeah. So let's give a shout out to Beverly Lindsley. Hi, Beverly. King of Swords moment. Okay, and then a card for the rest of us, the Judgment card. Hopefully, our representatives in the House of Representatives will stand up and rise up for what they believe in, and stand up to Trump and Mike Johnson and shine the light on these pedophiles.
Pedophiles don't know. They're not politicians. They're not Republicans or Democrats. They're pedophiles. They just happen to have political jobs. That's the only difference. Pedophile's a pedophile is a pedophile.
I imagine.
Right. Thank you, everyone. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care.
Take care. Bye.